Okay, Mayor Candell, it's 6 o'clock and you are live on YouTube, and I'm going to admit a bunch of folks into the meeting. So let me admit them all. They're joining now, and it's over to you.
Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Lafayette Equity and Inclusion Task Force on March 23rd, 2021 at 6 o'clock. We'll start the meeting and we'll call the meeting to order. And first off, a roll call. And for the record, Vice Mayor Geringer and I are present for the City Council. And do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
All right, and I second. And so we have to take a vocal vote. So Vice Mayor Geringer.
Aye.
And I am also an aye, so it is unanimous. And so first off, we have public comments for items not on this agenda. And so if you want to talk about anything that actually is not on this agenda, this is the time to bring it up. And I guess since everybody's in, please just raise your hand on Zoom. So do we see any raised hands? I do not see any raised hands. Okay, so I will then close the public comment for items not on the agenda. So welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming and attending. And it's just so nice to have all of you in with us together. That is a format that we haven't really done before, and it's a good format, and I'm glad we're able to do that. First off, I do want to start the meeting with a show of solidarity with our Asian American and Pacific Islander community. The issues over the last year, and then especially in the recent week, have been horrific. We also heard of a potential incident here in Lafayette until a diligent and heroic ally showed up and proved to be the hero that he is. I do want all of you to know that we have a full presentation at the upcoming task force meeting next Wednesday, March 31st, that includes a topic on the AAPI community, and I hope you all can attend. So now up, first off, so why are we here? So this task force was launched, after the events last summer and the global outreach in the Black Lives Matter movement, and the topic of equity and inclusion is as big here as it should be everywhere on the globe. And so our council was unanimous in our united support for this effort. And so our staff came up and has helped us launch this task force. So please, everybody, I am so glad that you're here. So tonight we're taking a little bit of a different step. We have a new facilitator, which I will introduce in a little bit. But we also want to take a minute to hear from our community groups and the efforts that they've been taking in the city. Make it quick, 3 bullet items of, what are the top, if you could explain the top 3 things that you've done and you're aiming for, that would be great. And hopefully we can have each of these groups raise their hands and we will let you speak, especially if you're representing a particular committee or group within our city. We'd love to hear from you quickly. I also want to take just a minute here to say, hey, the goal of this task force is eventually to hand this off to our community. We should be listening to you. Our council is not the right people. We're just not made up to be the right people to lead this kind of effort. And so we would really, really love to have this be a community-led effort. We will help. Our staffer, Jennifer Wakeman, has offered to help organize and enable you in whatever way possible. But please, let's start getting that into our head that we do want to eventually aim. So the city is a facilitator rather than the leader, because you guys are out there and I know you're doing great things. So thank you. So first off, I will take a chance to hear from our city. So I don't know if Nirup or Jennifer will do an update from the city.
Sure, Mayor Candell. I'm here tonight to present that update. So the first meeting of the task force was in July of 2020, and tonight's meeting or town hall event represents our 6th meeting, several of which were also a town hall type event. We've heard stories, collected suggestions to form an action plan, as well as shared tools about how to respond in uncomfortable situations. Staff has been trained on implicit bias. We are currently evaluating our hiring practices. The city passed a resolution reaffirming the city's commitment to being a welcoming, inclusive, tolerant, and safe community for all. And in addition to the work of the task force, the Public Safety Subcommittee has discussed recommendations on police training and reporting that are currently being implemented. And the General Plan Advisory Committee is taking suggestions from the town hall events that we've had, the stories and suggestions that we've had regarding housing and land use, and they are working that into the end product that they're developing for their general plan. So those are, besides that, if you look on a past council agenda or a past task force meeting, you can see the full action plan of the task force. Again, these are recommendations that we took directly from the citizens who spoke up at our meetings. And we're just gradually hoping to address and work on as much as we can as we move forward here. Nirup, is there anything you wanted to add?
Just one other item, that the City Council is engaged in a county-wide effort to examine the way we deliver behavioral health services or mental health services. And we're doing I would say a 6-month, very intensive look at the operations at the county health level. We've come up with 4 recommendations from the Public Managers Association. And one is to establish a dedicated mobile crisis hotline number outside of 911. The second is to establish a mobile crisis response team that would respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The third would be to investigate whether the first responders to any behavioral health calls would be a team of those trained to address these issues and not just the uniformed officers. And the fourth is to identify alternate destinations for those who experience a behavioral health crisis, rather than take them to a single point in the county, whether there are a variety of locations where people can get treatment before and after the crisis. So this will continue to be a top priority for the county as well as for our City Council.
Thank you. And that will be a full agenda item also at the next Wednesday, March 31st meeting. Thank you. Thank you both. All right. Are there any other community groups or leaders? I see Richard Whitmore's out there. I see some groups out there that I hope that you can contribute what you've been doing.
So please note if you'd like to talk, you can either raise your hand visibly or under the reactions button in the bottom toolbar of your Zoom screen, you'll be able to raise your hand. Sorry, Richard, go ahead.
Oh, no problem. So I think I'll try to follow your 3-bullet suggestion. The 3 things that I would really highlight in what we're doing, I'm the superintendent of the Lafayette School District, which is our 4 elementary schools and middle school. First of all, I would want to do a big note of appreciation to Acalanes and all the work they've been doing on this, because they've really helped us take some great leaps forward and have been working on this for years. We're in the process of moving about half our teachers through some exposure to ideas about racial equity and sort of taking them on their own personal journey so they understand where implicit bias may be coming into their classrooms, how they can improve their curricular approaches, how co-curricular events might benefit from additional perspectives from different points of view of different races, and really working to improve classroom by classroom what we're doing in the district. We now have student-run groups. That's the second thing I would want to highlight at each of our schools. Again, a big thank you to Camille Logan Weeks. I don't know if she's on the call, but she helped get a No Place for Hate program up and running at each of our 4 elementary schools, which is a well-known national program. to expose students to diversity and belonging, and having those goals be central to how they think about school. And Stanley has been running a program called SLAM this year that is very aligned with and articulated the student groups that exist at Acalanes and Camp Lindo high schools. And then finally, the biggest lift probably, or one of the big lifts anyway, has been a new board policy that got adopted probably 5 weeks ago. It wasn't too long ago, but we had a great volunteer effort. Again, we looked at the roots of a policy that Acalanes adopted back towards the end of the summer in 2020, adapted it to work for our schools and our district and our students, created a big sort of action plan as part of that policy with real administrative work that we want to get done that really grounds racial equity in all of our policies and procedures and curriculum across the district. So we're just starting to tackle all that list of action steps. And we do have a great district-wide committee. I see many people from it. I see their faces out there tonight, definitely 4 or 5 of them at least. And so they may be able to add more color to what we're doing, but those are the things that I just wanted to highlight off the top that I think represent everything we're trying to do.
Thank you so much. It's so good to hear. All right, so next I see Matt Pease.
Thank you, Mayor Candell. My name is Matt Pease. I represent the Lafayette Chamber of Commerce. I'm on their board of directors, and I'm also the chair of their DEI task force. We've just kind of got started, so we're still in the very early stages, but a couple of things that we've done and are doing is we have come up with a position on DEI for the chamber. It's on our website if you want to visit that, and it shows kind of how we think about DEI in our community. We've also set up a number of metrics and accountabilities for the chamber staff in terms of recruitment of different businesses and how they operate and how they communicate. Our focus is primarily going to be on education, and that is educating our members about this subject and how they should think about it relative to how they operate their business. And we have a DEI subcommittee, we just met today, that is going to make recommendations to our board on how we can operate differently and how we can work with other community groups and with the city itself in terms of leveraging programs to have it to be the most effective it can be for our members. So that's what we're working on.
Great, sounds wonderful. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, next, Jeremy Levine.
Good afternoon, everyone. Really good to see so many people showing up to this meeting. I am here as a representative for Inclusive Lafayette. We are an organization that tries to pursue policy-based solutions to bringing about equity and inclusions. We focus particularly on housing, and we have, I think, 2 main pillars for what we do. We try to educate the community and bring people into civil evidence-based discourse about the history of housing policy, its current impacts, and how we can pursue policies that are more equitable and inclusive. And we try and get people to engage with local government and actually make some change. Thanks for hosting this, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you so much for showing up. All right, next I saw a Rob Schwartz.
Hi, thank you, Mayor Candell. My name is Rob Schwartz. I'm with the Camp Lindo Parent D&I Group. We're about 8 months old, and I think I've accomplished a lot over the course of these months. We set out with 3 goals in mind. One was to create a new mission statement at Camp Lindo High School, which we accomplished. It was also to create spaces for healing and allyship. And we've hosted several book discussions, a racial equity series, different seminars. There's actually a racial equity seminar going on right as we speak that a lot of our members are at. And then finally, something that we just found out that we've been pushing for was for the Acalanes High School District to hire a full-time diversity, equity, and inclusive coordinator, which they just posted that job. So we're really very excited by that. One other thing just to note is, we also conducted a survey where about 1,200 of the 1,400 students at Campo completed. They got really great data on bias, inclusiveness, belonging, et cetera. And we're now using that as the baseline to assess the work that we're doing and the work that we're doing in partnership, honestly, like with the principal, the administration, the teachers, and the students at Campo Lindo who are really leaning in and working in partnership with us along all these initiatives.
Wow, that sounds great. Gosh, a full-time coordinator, that's really great. Thank you. All right, Rupi Krishnan.
Thank you. I'm just going to piggyback off of what Rob said. I'm Rupi Krishnan. I'm the co-chair of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, which is a committee under the Akalani's Parents Club. And we work, one of the really good things that has come out of all of this is that we're collaborating with all the high schools in our district, because some of the issues that we're seeing at Akalani's, we see, in Walla La Miranda, right? So Las Lomas, Campo, Miramani. And so our committee has been around really for the past year. It's a 2-year committee, but really in the past year, we've, been running at full speed. We've done a lot of things similar to what Rob has described. We're doing things at the site level for our parents, bringing workshops. We've had a forum for them, creating spaces like Rob said, just to allow people to come and talk, and then also an opportunity to learn and maybe, grow and come into a safe place where they might be slightly uncomfortable, but they're there to learn. And so we've put on a series of 6 workshops where we have 1 more left in this series for this year for our parent community. And this is mirroring what the kids are learning at Akalani's in their cohort racial equity lessons, because these conversations need to happen at home. They're happening at school, but we thought, this is a great way to sort of merge the two, parts of the puzzle. We've had some other events, like we had Arshay Cooper come via Zoom and talk to us and our parent and student community, and it was moderated by students and one dad from our boosters program, and that was a great success. And Arshay Cooper wrote this book. There's a movie that came out, and that was a really, really powerful thing for our student and parent community to come and listen and learn about racial equity and sort of learn that things are a little bit different outside of this bubble, and then also take a look inside. And so we've done a lot of things at the site level at Akalani's, supporting our student equity groups. And then we're doing things also at the district level with the superintendent and everyone else. And it's really great to be here, and thank you for including us.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to hear all the good work going on. It's marvelous. All right, one more, Cody Keller.
Thank you. I'm Cody. I am working loosely with an informal group called Lafayette Together. It was born out of a need of bringing the Lafayette, Moraga, and Orinda communities together. There's a lot of individuals in each of the communities that are doing some amazing things. We see it on social media and the traditional media. So really, it was born out of a need to sort of cross-collaborate with these individuals, with these amazing organizations, things that are happening on the city level, the school level, and the community level. So bringing all 3 of those groups together. Had a couple brainstorming sessions and have some ideas right now, more of a social media bend. There's things that are happening on those platforms like Nextdoor and Facebook that are would be appalling if we read them today. So we're kind of focusing on that with educational series, but also continuing on some of the speaker series that we've had in the past from some of our individuals on those social media platforms, and hope to expand that into more of a formal program and include more of the community, more of the region as that goes forward.
Great, thank you. I don't see any more hands, but if somebody is...
There is one more, Susan.
Oh, super. Who is it? I can't see
Marissa Silva.
Oh, there's Marissa Silva. Hello.
Hi, I just wanted to weigh in. Sorry, I'm driving right now, so I don't have my camera on, but eventually I'll put it on. I just wanted to mention that there's tons of us on here right now who are representatives from all the DEI committees from all 4 of the elementary schools, as well as Stanley. There's probably at least 10 of us on here, and we're all here super excited about this and wanting to collaborate, and super happy with the work we've gotten started this year with No Place for Hate. Thanks again, Camille. Thanks again, Lynae, for being here to help lead this. And thank you, Richard, for leading this work in our district this year, and the city for partnering. So thanks very much.
Oh, thank you. Any more hands? I'm not seeing any. Okay, thank you, everybody. I appreciate the amount of work that has gone into this in such a short time. It speaks volumes and I'm so proud of our community, to be perfectly honest. I'm just very proud of everything that everybody is doing. Thank you. So going into the next part of our meeting, I do want to, where is it? Okay, here we go. I have the pleasure, so we're going to break into our next part of our meeting, and I have the pleasure to introduce Lynnā McPhatter-Harris, for people who haven't met her before, and she'll be facilitating tonight the conversation. Lynae has been working with the Lafayette school system with rave reviews. So besides being a Lafayette mom, Lynae works for Evident Change. It's a company who conducts research and provides expertise in child welfare, juvenile and adult justice, and adult protection. Lynae works on the social service practice team, as well as the justice strategies team. And so prior to Evident Change, Lynae worked in human services, correctional services, and child welfare fields for 22 years in multiple capacities, including direct service, management, correctional services, therapeutic services, and training. Lynae has also worked with various child welfare jurisdictions during her employment with the Casey family programs. She earned her bachelor and master's degrees from Bellevue University in Nebraska, and her doctorate in counseling psychology from Argosy University in San Diego, California. And besides that, Lynae is a smart and very thoughtful person and a treasure here in Lafayette. And I know you wouldn't have been able to boast about yourself. You just don't seem like types. I had to take this opportunity to introduce you to our community. And so thank you so much.
I appreciate and I'm honored to be able to be here with all of you. And I'm blown away by all the things that I just heard are already happening that I was unaware of. And it's a very humbling place to be as we're beginning this journey of what would it look like if we truly developed a plan for Lafayette to feel inclusive to everyone. Not just words on paper, not just a list of values, not just a goal. What would it look like to make it live and breathe and an experience that everyone would want to be part of, without losing some of the benefits we have of being in this community? Because we do have benefits, and we have to acknowledge those benefits, and then what would make it even better. And so we're going to do a mix of some breakout rooms, small group activities, just so we can make sure everybody's voice is heard and shared. And then we'll come back as large group, do some visioning, some visual stuff, and then we'll break back out again, with the hope that we walk away today with a group of people who really want to become a community committee, because we want to really have a community do this. It'd be easy to have the council create a plan for us. It's going to impact all of us. So it makes sense for us to have a community that is developing this plan and really understands what the impact is on our businesses, on our kids, on ourselves, and anybody else coming into the community. So as we start doing some of this work, I really want you to be thinking about, what would the message be for others? You know, what would they think? What would they believe? What would they understand about us if we got this right? You know, like, let that sit. We can say a whole lot of lovely things. It doesn't mean anything unless it comes alive. So we don't want to be like other places that creates a mission statement, creates a list of values, and they sound really nice and they look really pretty on our web page, on our papers that we pass out, on our messages. No, we want people to come to Lafayette and walk away saying that without us telling them. We want them to walk out going, oh my gosh, Lafayette is. When I was in Lafayette, I felt I want to be back in Lafayette because of. So as we start to have some of these activities, and we're going to have to push you to really narrow down your responses because we want to make sure we get them all. And for our first activity, I know Jennifer has a slide. We're going to have you in your breakout rooms only leave with your top 3 words, not sentences, not phrases, not 2 words, 1 word. This is going to test everything in your beings. You're only going to walk out with 3 words that reflect your focused values of that group. So you're going to have a whole lot. You're going to narrow it down to your top 3. If we were to tell people out of Lafayette, we went through the tunnel, we left the state, we went and we said, this is what Lafayette is. And we had 3 words to say what the values of this community are. That's what we want you to do. That's your task. You may be with people you've never met. My hope is you introduce yourselves in some capacity, name, pronoun, cultural identity, if you have time, because I think they have us at 15 minutes for this first group. You're going to identify someone who is going to facilitate your group. So there has to be a speaker. Somebody please step up. We need someone to scribe. Who's going to take notes? And then someone needs to report out. And it should not be the speaker and it should not be the scribe. This is how we have everybody participate. So find your role. And the others still contribute because there'll be still like a couple people who may not be a speaker scribe. The next time, rotate because you're going to be together again. Before we go to breakout rooms, do you guys have any questions? You're just values that would represent our city. Oh, wait, did you guys get a chance to take a picture or write it down? Did everyone? Raise your hand if you did not. Okay. So then I hope at least one person in the group will have it. There's some hands up. So Jennifer, can you put it back up again? Just you can use your cell phone because the chat's not working. So use your cell phone. You can take a picture of it so that you at least have it as a reference. Because when you get into a group with people you don't know, you'll probably go off task. So this will hopefully keep you anchored.
Hey, Lynae, I've got 2 people, Sam Adams and Ruby with their hands up. I don't know if you want to ask. Hey, Sam, do you have a question?
Sorry, that's an error. It's actually my son's name. So
I'm sorry. Hi. It happens.
Ruby, did you
have a question?
I have a question. So this is not your wish list of words. This is like
not yet.
Current. Okay. Just want to double check. Thank you.
I appreciate that question. That's a good one. And you know, if the value that you feel this city hasn't happened yet, and it's a value that has you here that you want uplifted, put it down. And because for some, the value that is on your wish list is one they already experience. And I think that's important to capture as well.
Lynae,
Any other
ready?
questions? Oh, go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
No, just checking to see if just let me know when you're ready for breakout rooms.
If there's no more questions, I'm ready. And when we come back, you're going to be reporting out with just your 3 words because Jennifer is going to be capturing them in a really cool way.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
William, did you get invited to a room?
So I randomly ended up, hi William, hi Chief. I randomly ended up in a room with Narup and the mayor.
Oh, okay.
So I decided to pop back out so that it wasn't so heavily,
Do you want me to put you in a room where there's not somebody?
We could, yeah.
Okay.
It was a very fun group. And Jeremy was in there and Angie's in there. It was a good group.
Okay, I'll send you to the one that Ben was gonna get assigned to for.
Or I could hang out here with you guys, but
That's fine too.
I'll go into a room if you
Okay.
have.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Robert. How are you? Hi, Heidi, are you there? Everyone's in a breakout room right now. If you'd like to, I can add you to one. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. I hi.
Hi.
I thought it was at 7. So I'm just gonna hang here for a second, I guess.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I'm gonna go fix dinner, which is why I was gonna go video off.
No problem.
Is it socially okay to just be listening?
Yes, of course.
Great, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and we do have another exercise later in the meeting, so you'll get invited to a breakout room for that one. Nice to see you. Hi, Gary. Everyone's in a breakout room right now doing an exercise. Would you like to be added to a breakout room?
Actually, I'm going between Zoom calls tonight, so I just
Great.
I have like 4 different Zoom calls. So yeah, I'll have how much longer is it in the breakout rooms?
They're in there for about 5 more minutes.
Okay, I'll pop back in so I can go to. Okay.
No problem.
All right. So thanks.
Just so everyone listening knows, the groups asked for 5 more minutes. Hey, Janet. So I have them at 7 minutes left.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Hi, Stephen. My name is Jennifer Wakeman. I'm staffing the task force this evening, and everyone is in a breakout room right now. You should have received an invitation to join one if you like, or you can just wait till they come back.
Okay, I'll just wait. I didn't
Okay,
get
that's fine. Would you like to go to one of the rooms?
Sure.
Okay, I will find one for you. Okay, here you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Gary.
I'm back. Yeah, sorry.
They asked for 5 more minutes, so they're in there for another 5 minutes.
All right, well, I'm just gonna hang out here and do some stuff, but I'll be on here.
Okay, I can also
Okay.
put you in a room if you like.
At this point, no, it's probably better if I just do some other things.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks. Okay. Okay.
Sure.
That's fine.
Hi, Jim, how are you? Everyone else in the meeting is in breakout room doing an exercise. I can add you to a room right now, or you can wait until everyone comes out in about 5 minutes. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I normally do it. I'm listening, so I got better than I expected, but I'll just sit tight. I'll check back in after 5 minutes.
Okay, great. You can stay on.
Lynae, you're right. 15 minutes isn't enough.
I love when I'm right.
You were right.
We
I had
added
all these
5 more
messages
minutes.
asking for more time. I had all these texts coming. Can we get more time? And I said, I didn't win that battle. You get in a room with people you've never been able to experience, and you're talking about a topic that is so important to everybody in that little room that you want to hear from everybody, and you want to actually know who they are before you dive right in, right? And so, yeah, 15 minutes. The next one you'll have longer than 15 minutes. I win now, I promise.
Okay.
Thank you.
How long do you want for the next one?
Wow, can I have a minute to figure that out?
Yes.
Type A, chop, chop, chop.
It depends on how long this report out takes.
Okay.
And then, you know, all right.
Fair enough.
So, how fun was that, people? You guys have reaction thingies, don't you? Like you can
Excellent. Yes.
reactions. There's like these little reactions. All right. So,
It was great.
oh, I see my Yanni. All right. So I hope that you all were able to connect, actually hear from people some of the things that you find in common and some of the things that you can push each other on. Jen is going to be collecting. So we're going to have each group share their 3 and do it in a way that she has time to type because she's going to make something look really pretty.
So you want just the 3 words, no background?
No background. Your
Sorry,
3 words
Jeremy.
will be enough for us to feel it.
Okay.
Are you going first, Anna? Is it Anna?
Sure. So
Is it
our
sure it's Anna or is it Anna?
It's Anna Maria.
Anna Maria, thank you.
Even more complicated.
No, it's beautiful and I will get it correct. Anna Maria.
Thank you. So our 3 words are bubble, family, and stable.
Bubble, family, and stable. Thank you. What, and I can give you mine because my person who was supposed to report out had to leave. So are you ready?
Yep.
So we had family, community, and inclusion.
Whoa. I don't know what happened. It just deleted. Family, community, inclusion.
Mm-hmm. And then it was bubble, family, and stable for the other one, if you lost it.
Okay.
All right, so we had a group that had Cody, Eunice,
Yep.
Gabe. Okay, who's that? Who's speaking?
Cody, ready?
All right, Cody. Yep.
Family oriented.
Nope, one word.
Family.
Okay.
Community. And exclusive. EX.
Okay. Thanks, Cody. Our next group had Yuki, Gina, Christine, Carrie, Carol, Rupi. Who's your speaker?
Yuki will talk. We have community, education, comfortable.
Community, education, comfortable?
Yes.
Thank you, Yuki. The next group, we have Tony, Ben, EP, Heidi, Kathy, Matt, Teresa, Tess.
So we've taken liberties with spelling. So we have one word status quo, polite, and one word success driven.
That's 2 words. Anything that's 2 words won't work. It has to be one word.
Oh, for the thing. Okay.
Yeah, because it makes it doesn't keep it together.
Kathy, what about achievement? Would that?
Achievement or competitive?
Even driven.
Driven's good.
Okay, we'll do achievement.
So we have achievement. What was the other ones?
Polite and status quo.
No space.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being generous.
Yeah. I can be generous. Okay, thank you. So, and then next we have, we have Yanni, William, Rob, Richard, Lynn, Karen, John.
It's me. So we interpreted the question to be kind of what we see and where we want to go. So we chose aspirational, listening, and connecting.
Thank you. I hope you're not driving and talking and speaking.
Not anymore.
Good answer.
All right, thank you, Yanni. And last and not least, we have Susie, Sarah, Sam, Katie, Christine, and Camille.
We had Margaret, not Sam, but our three our three words are insular, engaged, and affluent.
Thank you. And the Sam is Margaret, so that I know for future. Thank you. Did you get that, Jen?
Yeah.
Is it pretty?
It is pretty. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
So when we were doing this so that we'd have some sort of visual to even, and you know, this isn't stamped in gold and we can never change. This is where we're starting. This is going to be the beginning of a journey. And a journey, we know the roads can change as we hit different bumps that we don't expect. And so for now, like what stands out the most is family and community. The more that things are repeated, the larger it becomes. If we were to think about what would it look like for our community to feel like a community, for people to walk out saying, you know what, I feel that I'm within a community, that I'm part of a community. And some define family as community, which is why it comes up. Family doesn't always mean your own unit. Family, especially for those who come from all walks of life and who weren't born here, raised here, and connected just to here, want to feel like they're part of a family as Lafayette is my family. Which is probably why it comes up quite a bit. And then there were some other pieces that show up as well around like inclusion. Bubble, I like that one. Exclusive, which I found really intriguing. Polite, status quo, listening, aspirational, affluent. And honestly, a lot of those words people probably already feel and believe about Lafayette. And some mean it in an endearing way. And we have to acknowledge some not so endearing. Every word can be positive and negative depending on how it's weighted and how it's shaped and how we show up. And they're just words. Words mean nothing without life. Words mean nothing without behaviors. Words mean nothing if we continue to do things exactly the same way. When I think of community, I think about my first experience in Lafayette. I went to Romeburger. I think I'd been here 2 days. I went by myself. I was sitting in there by myself, and a woman and her teenage son said, "Hey, can I sit with you?" I thought that was one, it was like the most endearing thing that made me go, okay, maybe it's okay that I'm the only person that looks like me in this whole city. as we were driving up and down and had no idea. And it didn't matter to them. They saw somebody sitting by themselves and wanted to sit with me and have lunch with me. And I learned all about them. They learned about me. And it gave me a sign that it was okay to be here. I can't say that happens all the time. I hold on to that one example as something to strive for. Because my hope is that others, when they come, even if to visit, they get to feel that at least once. Because I can't say I felt that anywhere else. So in thinking about that, we have these words that we want people to feel, to know, for us to feel. Even with all the stuff happening in the world, I heard bubble. That our brothers and sisters that don't look like us, white, brown, black, whatever, feel that they have people who are going to stand up and say that's not okay. Even in our bubble. That people won't feel paralyzed and that they can't have a conversation. That the weight doesn't have to be on the burden of the people that it's happening to. And it becomes a community problem. It becomes something that's happening to all of us. If it's happening to one of us, it's happening to all of us. Like if I thought of my vision, that would be my vision. And that's just me. I can only speak for me. And I'm saying all this because we're going to do another, have you really dig deep. And this time you get to say a lot more if you want to. So those who thought I was really, I was. Because we have to first narrow it down to really think about where we're trying to go. Those were just words. What would it feel like? What would it look like? What would you be doing that you may not be doing now? What would your experience be that some of you already do have and some strive to have? Community. What would be happening at the shops downtown? What would be happening at the grocery store? We put a lot on our schools because we want our kids to be able to live and breathe those values. And it's not just a school, that's just part of a system. We have a lot of systems, even within small Lafayette. And each, I heard somebody talking about tackling policy, each impacts the other. So what would be different? What would police be doing? What would firemen be doing? What would we see in our libraries? What would we see in our town? What kind of murals would we see, if any? If someone were to walk up to you, what kind of things would they want to talk to you about that you don't hear today? This one, we're digging a little deeper. Because to make change, we need to know what that change is so we can develop a plan on how to get there. It's easy to say, I want it better. We need more Black and brown people. I can bring a whole bunch of Black and brown people and they can still feel excluded, not welcome, not seen, not heard, not valued. Changing what it looks like doesn't make the change on its own. It's a start. There's more to it than changing the surface. So that's what we're going to have you think about next. So Jen's going to put up a slide and you guys take a picture of it, write it down, because I think I put a lot on this one. One of those times if I would have had Richard, I would have said, Richard, give me a chat box. All right. So this is going to be a visioning. This is what we want to see. When Lafayette exemplifies inclusivity, When we embrace diversity in our community, what does it look like? If we were to make our community more diverse and everybody felt comfortable, what would be happening? And one way that might get you to the 1, 2, and 3, if you really think about, I am back in Lafayette 10 years later, 10 years after we started this. And I don't just feel included, I feel seen, I feel heard. I feel like I am a value add to this community. My presence makes it better, and they want me here. What would you be seeing, doing, hearing, smelling, feeling, experiencing? That would be different. And you heard me say, what would you be doing? Because it's not just about what others are doing, because we have to do our part too. I have to do my part. Teresa does hers. Lynn's gonna do hers. I had to say Lynn because your name looks like mine. Not just what everybody else is gonna do. It's quick for us to say, you need to change that, you need to change that. What will I do? What will I be doing? For me, when this is all happening and I feel like I am in community, I'm in solidarity, I am with people who get me, and if they don't, they want to. People who don't just surface care, they actually care. And not just about me, about everyone. We are a we. So if you had time to capture this. All right. So Jen, I'm gonna give them 25 minutes. Oh, stop it. They need it. This is a lot. Thumbs up if 25 minutes is okay. Y'all have the reaction things if you, all right. You're gonna want more, and we still will wanna hear back, so.
Can we
Okay,
get a couple minute warning this time when time's running up?
Yeah, it said 4 minutes last time. You want more than 4 minute warning? We can, sometimes
Would you
what I'll
like a
do
10
is
and a 5, Michael?
I do that. 10.
Yes, please. I didn't see the 4 last time. We were too into the discussion.
No, it's fine. So we'll do a 10 and a 5. You'll end up seeing one of them because it's hard to pay attention to that. So that's fine. And as you're thinking about the doing, think about if you would want to be part of a committee that makes it happen.
Lynnā?
Who said? It's Lynae, and I don't see.
Oh, Lynae, sorry. It's Libby.
Hey, Libby.
Hi, Lynn. By the way, I will be back at 7:30.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll make sure you're in our group again. It's
okay.
Fine. Anybody else have any questions before you go?
We're doing new groups, right?
Oh, if you want to, I guess so. That's fine. But you can put Libby back with me if when she gets back.
Okay, will do. Okay, here you are. Hey, Debbie, let me put you in a breakout room. Hi, how are you? People are in breakout rooms right now. I can assign you to one. Would you like me to do that?
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome. Let me find one that has a couple people. Okay. Here you are. Hi, Christine. Were you already in a breakout room? Christine?
Oh, sorry. I was in with Lynae and Suzanne Kendall and ran out of battery, so I had to log back in.
No problem. I'll put you back into that room.
Okay, great.
Hi, Pam. How are you? Do you want to unmute real quick? Everyone's in breakout rooms doing an activity. Do you want me to put you in a breakout room?
Realize I'm like, oh my God, 6 o'clock. So it's been going on for an hour.
Yeah, but they just started the breakout room.
So maybe can you fill me on what I missed before they go to a breakout room?
Sure. So we talked about how the mayor see this as a community-led effort, not a city-led effort. That we feel like that will be the most effective way to create change in our community. Mm-hmm. And we talked about, we have a moderator, Dr. Lynnā McPhatter-Harris, and she's been kind of talking to us about the values. We had several of the attendees shared the groups that they are involved with in our community and what their achievements have been and what they're trying to do in the community. And then we did a breakout room where we identified 3 words that exemplified what we see in our community today so that we could come together around some shared values. And now we're working on developing some action items by working with sentence completion so that we can get a sense for what work can be done in the community to advance our goals.
And what are the groups based on?
They're just randomly, people are randomly sorted into rooms. So
randomly sorted and then say, what should we do type thing? Randomly?
Yeah, we have
by those words or whatever.
We have 4 sentences that Dr. Lynae shared with us to have us complete. One is, let me pull it up real quick.
Is that how they made the groups or is that?
So then they're just talking about them now. So they're like, the first sentence is, when Lafayette exemplifies inclusivity, we are or have. So things like that. I'm trying to pull up the other ones.
And what do you, and how many, what's your role, and who has sort of been, who showed up?
So I'm the Assistant Director of Administrative Services for the City of Lafayette,
Okay.
which has nothing to do with this role.
Okay.
It's just that I staff the Lafayette Equity and Inclusion Task Force.
Okay.
I help them with scheduling and agenda setting and that sort of thing.
Which is a city task force for you guys. And so I did hear that there was some training involved with the city, because so for me, I've been involved in a little bit of Campo DEI stuff, and then with Akalani's, because Campo, obviously they got started way earlier with all of their various incidents. But then my kid is a senior over there, and then my kid is a freshman over at Akalani's.
Oh, okay.
And then at Akalani's, clearly they're understaffed. Like at Campo, they have like 100 people working on it. And then that whittled down to like maybe 50 active people. At Akalani's, they started with like 30. And then it's like down to sort of 10 that are doing stuff. So anyway, that's what I was doing. And then I was also working with the Miles Hall Foundation. And I was sort of working with them, and they're trying to go into the middle schools. And so then I said, okay, well, we need to sort of staff up over there. And they wanted to put a resource library together. Mm-hmm. So I was helping put I was like, okay, I could like talk to the people that are over in Campo and say, what are you guys doing? And when you flip over your duties, so to speak, can I, put together like a job description and what, so that, it's because it's kind of scary when there's like, it's not formulated what's happening, and you're really going to be some parent volunteer and you're just like, what is happening? So anyway, that's sort of what I've been doing, which is,
that's great.
And then in Moraga, they were doing a lot of that, not in our town. Mm-hmm. And I know Rob Schwartz was doing that, but I didn't attend any, like, there's too much stuff.
Yeah, Rob's on the call today.
Okay. So I didn't really go to that many of the things because it was always a conflict with something going on at Akalani's. So I sort of knew what was happening there. But anyway, I hadn't really been involved at the city stuff. Okay. So anyway, I can go over to my meeting, but I didn't know. It was good to get a little feel for what's happening over here. So the Rob Schwartz, who else was sort of any of the other Campo people?
Rupi. Yeah, I think they said they're like, there are several, I don't know.
Rupi,
they don't identify themselves.
Okay.
But
how many people got on this call altogether? You have 6 rooms with like 10.
I think we have like 50 people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then everybody's chatting, and then we're going to get back together and then discuss what everybody talked about in the rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So we still
if you want to send me off, I'm ready. Like I was like, sometimes it feels weird to like just
getting you caught up to speed.
Get thrown into a room, and then they're all in the middle of their conversation. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm an hour late. And then you're just there for 5 minutes, and then you go back to the thing anyway. So
okay, I will put you in room 5. So get in.
Are you just sitting here? Are these people just sort of just not at their desks?
Like the police chief is on to listen. I don't know about William. Elizabeth had to step away for a minute, and then City of Lafayette is our communications analyst who does all of our meeting coordination.
But she just stepped away from her desk, and because she's not, that's why they're sort of there.
Exactly. Yeah. We're the finger outers.
So should I just go join? It says room 6. So I just do whatever.
Send you to 5 because 5 has fewer people.
I'm going to say not now to this one then.
Perfect.
And then you'll send another thing to me, I guess.
Right there.
Oh, whoopsie. Now it came to 5. Okay. Join. Okay.
Nice talking to you, Pam. Hi, Karen. How are you? Because 5 has fewer people.
I'm going to say not now to this one then.
Perfect.
And then you'll send another thing to me, I guess.
Right there.
Oh, whoopsie. Now it came to 5. Okay. Join.
Ooh. Karen, are you there?
Hi. Sorry. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Sorry. I had to attend, or I was watching another meeting, so I had to decide which one to go to.
No problem at all. Everyone there, we have about 50 people. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Good. How are you?
5 has fewer people.
I'm going to say not now to this one then.
Perfect.
And then you'll send another thing to me, I guess.
Oh, that's
whoops.
It keeps playing over.
Okay, sorry, I got really confused with the sound there. I don't know what was happening.
I don't either. That's very bizarre. Okay, I can put you into a breakout room so you can kind of catch up with seeing where people are.
Okay, sure.
Okay, 1 second. I'm trying to find one that doesn't have a huge amount of people.
No worries. And what's going on in the breakout rooms?
You know what? It'll probably be best if you go in and then, stop. Okay. Why don't I let you get in the room and then you can see and catch on.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
Who needed more time that time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know, see?
We took it. And we
Yes.
used it well.
It's fun hearing all these different perspectives and thoughts and ideas that are aligned with your own. And some of them say things that it makes yours better, which is nice. So we're gonna report out, and I believe, Jen, are you capturing these? Or no?
Yes, I'll
Okay.
be typing them up.
All right, so our first group was Camille, Karen, Kathy, Katie, Martha, Susie, Teresa.
Okay, we get extra points because we barely had a chance to get all of our thoughts together here going first. I could have been scribbling more if we weren't first, but here's what we thought. Among the thoughts that we have, and they kind of interrelate to some of the questions. So not only having more people at the table listening and participating, but recognizing the responsibility and importance of being at the table to ensure diversity is embraced and sustained, that people feel genuinely included, that they feel safe and trust in the community, that we reach out to, everyone reaches out to give a hand up to anybody that needs help. We had a suggestion of the city having some cultural festivals to be to acknowledge and celebrate diversity in the community. In terms of how it would look different, we wouldn't look as homogenous as we currently do. And one of the people from my first group who had to leave wanted the words openness and authentic as the way, as descriptors of a future Lafayette. Chime in, anybody that captured things differently.
I'm stuck on cultural festivals. That sounds amazing.
And just on the cultural festivals, it was also about not just within the community for the community, but bringing others. And I'm going to say this, it was someone else's idea, but so they can pipe in, but it was bringing others into the community so they would see diversity and they would see people, the diversity and the inclusion and the welcoming. So they would want to be here and want to come back, whoever you are from outside of the community coming into Lafayette.
And I think we didn't want to lose track of the third question about people of diversity with diverse backgrounds. When would they feel comfortable, and safety was an issue. And one of our members' son had a flat tire, and he is African American, and she immediately was concerned about, what would people think with this child on the side of the road with a flat tire, and would people reach out? And our thought was, we hope we get to the point where that doesn't have to be a worry, because we assume that people in the community would, of course, reach out.
Thank you. Well done, Kathy. Thank you. My group would be next from room 2. I believe Rob is speaking.
Yes, and we had a lot of rich, really great conversation and then tried to synthesize it all down in the last 45 seconds. So let's see what we can do here. I think some of these questions, we could fill in the blanks from different ones in different ways, but and definitely anyone else from my group add in. So when Lafayette exemplifies inclusivity, we have a place where we celebrate. Everyone can be where there's a celebration and everyone can be whoever they want to be. Embracing diversity in our community looks like unconditional love where everyone feels represented. Diverse populations are comfortable in our community when there's no pressure for conformity and we've removed all barriers for participation. And then in terms of, in 10 years, there was a lot of talk around, there'd be artwork, public artwork of representing a variety of cultures. Everybody would be greeting each other. So there would, it wouldn't matter whether or not they knew each other or looked like each other. That people would have the tools and the comfort to call each other on their biases and prejudices when they emerge. And then we had a good conversation around like the children and students in the community and having them be able to embrace the differences and empowered to make the change that they want to see.
Thanks, Rob. Group 3 was Tony, Karen, Richard, Rupi, Margaret. Right, it's Margaret.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tony. Okay, so question number 1, similar theme. When Lafayette exemplifies inclusivity, we all feel and are welcomed at the table. Okay, so that's similar to another group. Embracing diversity in our community looks like feeling comfortable in all situations. Someone mentioned like that feeling when you have at home, that safe feeling, and feeling like that at school, at Romeburger, at a protest, anywhere, just feeling safe and feeling at home. On number 3, I delivered a manifesto, but we broke it down into, I need help from my group on this one, but it comes back to, diverse populations are comfortable in our community when, it's a little bit different than number 2, but when you feel safe to be your authentic self and you feel respected and others accept you for being your authentic self and don't make any judgment. It just is, okay? Number 4, what does it look like in 10 years? Okay, the first thing we have here is, well, there shouldn't be a need for DEI. There isn't a DEI, there isn't a task force. And I think I told the story of a person who was starting a company and they said, I don't think I need a DEI group because if I did, that means I already messed up and I'm not going to mess up, right? And that's maybe true to a certain respect. Also, in 10 years, you would have more people of color. You would have more affordable housing. And so you wouldn't have such a socioeconomic imbalance. I think that's another one of the issues that someone in our group shared, that her experience is not living in a $2 million house, but living in an apartment downtown and not feeling comfortable, and to see more people across all of the socioeconomic levels. Certainly more diversity in the schools with administrators and teachers. And then someone said not referring to Lafayette as it being a semi-rural place. Okay, and I think that's it. That's us.
Thank you, Tony. Jen, have you been able to capture this all so far? Are we moving too fast or are we good?
All of the above, but fortunately Jeff is recording, so I can come back to this.
Okay, I forgot about that. Thank you. Next group was Allison, Kishore, Marissa, William, and Yanni.
Hi, Lynae. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Kishore.
So I'm the reporter. Our group was succinct. So for question number 1, increased diversity is the answer. And dovetailing on that is question number 2 is just seeing more people of color. Pretty simple answers. It just, we'd see people. And then question number 3 is for people to feel comfortable, so which I think everyone has been saying, and so for people of color to see people that look like them, and specifically, I'll extrapolate a little bit. It would be going to the PTA meetings and realizing that you're not the only one who's different in the room. And another person expressed like feeling obligated to stay. So that feeling of feeling obligated to stay, in that you're carrying the reputation of your people in the room, is not going to be there anymore. And then so in terms of 10 years from now, it would be different signage. We'd have different restaurants. This is a Danville thing where they have like Italian and they have Italian, and there's Italian. So yeah, we'd have multiple restaurants from multiple ethnicities. Someone said it would look like Oakland. We kind of just talked about how you'd see people outside, you'd feel comfortable going outside. And then we started drifting into the housing conversation about affordable housing, and Allison could speak much more eloquently about this. But I think another group had talked about apartments as well. So I think there's probably some alignment of our group and I believe the first or second group.
Thanks, Kishore. I'm mindful some people are going to have to drop off at the top of the hour, and we still have a couple groups. So I'm hoping you guys can hang on for like maybe 10 after if possible. So we have Gabriel, Linda, Pam, and Wei.
That's right. I think Jeremy was Jeremy was also in that group.
Okay.
But he was supposed to report, but I'm going to take on his duties to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
So very quickly and succinctly, when Lafayette exemplifies inclusivity, we felt that when it would be an inclusive place, people would have the opportunity to come here, feel welcome freely and easily, regardless of their racial or socioeconomic background. But in addition to that, there were a few other things that we did talk about as well. Embracing diversity in our community looks like this is one that we're still thinking about a little bit, because diversity is a large blanket term. And we actually really like it that way because there are a lot of ways to be diverse, and racial diversity is very important. Socioeconomic diversity is also important. And then there are also different types of diversity with regard to disability, sexual and gender identity, other things along those lines as well that we want to be mindful of. So with regard to that, as far as embracing diversity in our community goes, we wanted it to be not only a diverse place, but also, I know this is cheating a little bit, but also an inclusive place where we don't just have diversity for the sake of saying that we are a diverse place, but where people from all different backgrounds feel welcome in our city and don't just feel as though they are here for the sake of being shown that they are here. Number 3, diverse populations are comfortable in our community when, and this was something that we talked about a little bit, but basically one of the things that we mentioned was with regard to going to stores. People of lower income backgrounds currently in our city don't necessarily feel all that welcome here. And so we are hoping with regard to that form of diversity that in the future people will feel more welcome regardless of what income background they come from in our stores and in our community living here as well. I think that's part of what we mentioned. I'm trying to think if there's someone else from our group who would like to jump in to add. I know we want to be succinct, but I would welcome that. Very quickly on the last question, it's been 10 years and you've returned to Lafayette and you feel included, you feel seen, and feel that you're valued. So with regard to this, we talked a little bit about how we think that having more affordable housing here would be a great thing to have with regard to having possibly apartments, but also having a good transportation network for people who may not necessarily have cars, whether that's because they don't have the income for one, or if that's out of a regard for emissions, sustainability, things along those lines, and how it would be cool to add more transportation resources for that. I'm not sure if someone else from our group would like to jump in and add something. I hope I didn't miss anything, but please jump in if I did. Okay.
Thank you so much. You did a great job. All right, and so the next group is Carol, Lynn, Nuruk, Stephen, and Yuki.
So I scribed, facilitated, and speaking up. So I get extra credit, Dr. McFadder-Harris.
Yes, you do.
So when Lafayette exemplifies inclusivity, we have diversity, affordability, and experience of belonging. That pretty much echoes everybody else. Embracing diversity in our community looks like having families of varying economic means, welcoming to all, being grounded, pleasant, lack of pretense, empathy, practicing awareness, seeing the person, and by the person we mean heritage, lineage, shape of eyes, color of skin, meet the person where they are, and have the self-determination to dismantle white supremacy daily. Diverse populations are comfortable in our community when we feel safe, seen, heard, and neighbors are upstanders against hate and violence. And the last one, 10 years from now, we would love to smell different cultural foods in our downtown Lafayette, have our continued friendships and generosity of the community members, experience open space and nature, access to hiking trails, the beauty of wildlife, and last but not least, central, lively downtown, and an arts district with proliferation of public cultural arts.
Thank you. And last and still special is room 7. It's Carol, EP, Gina, Heidi, Michael, and Tess.
Hi, I'm the speaker for our group. When Lafayette exemplifies inclusivity, we are a community that values trust and progress. Number 2, embracing diversity in our community looks like when the implementation of our community's policies and actions better our community for all. Number 3, diverse populations are comfortable in our community when we all can be our true and authentic selves and feel safe, valued, celebrated, and at home. And number 4, it has been 10 years, any of you, and you have returned to the Lafayette community, and you not only feel included, you feel seen and feel that you are a valued member of the community. We would see socioeconomic diversity, diversity in all senses, accessibility on every level, including physical and social, and differences that would be viewed as essential.
I love that. And it's almost as if you wrapped almost everybody else's up into yours. Because it nailed all the things that everyone has said, and it just kind of concised it. Now, I want to express an appreciation for everybody digging in and really starting to think about what would it take? What would it look like? Because then we have to start saying, okay, what are we going to do different to get there? Like, that's not going to happen today. That is going to be something that we're hoping that there are people on here who want to be part of a committee. A community committee is what we're calling it, to really create a roadmap to this so that we can start tackling some of these changes that need to happen. So our hope is that if there are people on here who are interested in being part of the community committee to strive for equity, to push the city to know how to get there, that you will let us know, like either raise your hand or you email Jenna. Jen, how are we capturing that?
We didn't talk about that, did we?
Nope.
I think you can email either the mayor or vice mayor or the city manager or myself. I can.
If you use to raise your hand, then we can at least write down your names.
That would be great.
Yes, Stephen has his hand up.
And
Did you
Wai
wanna
Tai.
say something?
Wai Tai does too.
Okay.
I see Wai Tai.
does.
Yeah.
Just to
Stephen, are you raising your
volunteer,
hand
not
that
to
you
say
want to
anything.
volunteer? Got it.
Perfect.
All right. Because
Are you
Jen's
seeing
going
this,
to be
Jennifer?
the
Lynn Mc-
go-between.
Lynn has raised her hand, Lynn McMichael.
Yes.
I told y'all people would sign up.
Yay. So Jen, are you seeing all the people with their raised hands and the participants? Excellent. Thank you.
And then Stephen used his physical hand.
I just want to say something, if I may.
Of course.
What I'm seeing here tonight, I really like the vibe and the groove. And it would be awesome once COVID is over to take this energy and put it in the street so people can see what this is about. Number one. Number two, we don't have to in some way reinvent the wheel. It's sort of like, for example, it's a little bit off topic, but let's say, right now in this country, we need Medicare for all. What we do is we look at other countries and see how they're doing it. So with that, we look at other cities and how they are working in terms of diversity. For example, when I lived in Brooklyn, I worked at a co-op. That's a great way to meet the community, to lower great foods at a lower price than overpriced Whole Foods. I mean, in fact, I worked alongside Spike Lee's sister. So you get a whole array of different types of people. So having stuff like that, looking at other cities, what they're doing, and then maybe borrow from them to bring that type of vibe to Lafayette. That's all I wanted to say.
Are you going to participate in the community committee, Stephen? Because you have such great ideas.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I love that co-op.
Oops.
Thank you.
So Jen,
So
you've
I
been
have-
able to capture everybody?
Yeah, I have
ahead.
7 individuals' names down, and I'm sure I can resource their email addresses so that I can put them all in touch with each other.
And you got Stephen as well?
Yep.
And you got Rupi? Her hands up now.
I got her now.
Oh, thank you, everybody. That's a strong committee. People are raising their hands are exceptional.
Anthony
Thank
Tony
you.
Severo just added his hand.
Got him.
Can I just ask a question? So for those of us who are, from the DEI committees from our respective schools, I think it would be great for us to have like a representative on like this committee. So whether it's me or someone else from my committee or, the Stanley and the elementary schools, I think that would be really great if we would have at least, 1 or 2 people that would sit, and it could be a rotation or something, but just so that we're sharing information and also, part of this, this task force.
That's a great idea. And maybe once this group of initial volunteers gets together, then you can figure out how that mechanism works.
And did you get Carol Singer? She had it, or is she clapping?
She's
Are you
clapping, I think.
Okay.
She already has enough public meetings to go to.
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, that's
okay.
exactly my question. Is will these be? I'm on the inclusive committee, but now GPAC meets on this at the same time. I think it is. So my question is, for those, there are a lot of people be very interested in this committee. Will these meetings be recorded so we can watch, so we can all participate?
Yes, they are, Carol.
No, they will be.
Yes, they will be.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's the mind behind the curtain.
I was just going to say, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Oz.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I want to say I appreciate you guys, y'all providing your time and your ideas and your thoughts and coming together. after a long day, whether it had been distance learning, working, both. And it just shows that this is really important to a collective. You know, and some are representing multiple people. So thank you so much. And go ahead, Jen. You think?
Thank you.
This is just the beginning. Go ahead, Stephen.
I stand in solidarity with my Asian brothers and sisters. We need to wipe out white supremacy. It's the root of all. So let's not forget we're all the same and we need to wipe this crap out.
Love you, Stephen.
All right.
Fight the power.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you, everybody, and especially Lynae. Wow.
Yes.
You are the facilitator of all facilitators. I appreciate you so much. So with that, we'll adjourn, and please join us next Wednesday night, the 31st, for some deeper dives and some great topics. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
You did good, Richard. You did good.
Hey, Richard.